Meghan Markle here.
All right, today is May 3, 2026. It is 5:24 a.m. I just finished edit whatever I recorded yesterday. So let's go on X. There's a lot to share with you. I'm not sure I'm gonna finish all of them. Let's start with this. The downfall of the monarchy and British royal family has only the British press to blame, because what do you mean a highly anticipated and hugely important state visit is being made all about Prince Harry? Okay, so this is Richard Aiden. Watch our final special edition of Palace Confidential from New York. Okay. I don't follow these people, so whatever. So why do they put Harry's face there? Unless the person who posts this watch that YouTube channel. I don't know. It's like the Queen's funeral all over again. Their beloved Queen was being laid to rest, and most of them were talking about Meghan. Harry and Meghan, like for one day, why not focus on the important stuff? Unless Harry, there's two H, I guess she meant Harry and Meghan. Unless Harry and Meghan are and always will be the important ones. LOL. The reporting around Queen's death was truly disgusting. This is why I said on past videos, make for the Invictus, I don't know. They're gonna pick up exactly where they left off if Meghan go over there. And I don't think she's gonna go. Alright, let's pause this. Then let's not help spread their rubbish. But then we all and was that good laugh, and this fool in particular alongside Mr. Hyperventilated should do provided. Remember when he left his burner account open and was caught messaging himself. That's when the squad realized he was moving. Let's go to the next tweet. I don't know. The squad took screenshot. Next one. Nice interview with Australian Women's Weekly. Quote, my husband and I have such affinity for Australia. I said to him the day we were flying out, the only thing better than Australia are Australians. The article. Alright, so this one I'm gonna read. Alright. Let's see. Come on, let me pause until this open up. Alright, it's taking forever. If it does open, I'll share the link with you. So forget the article. It's not opening. Alright, so let's read some of the comments. Wow, she really must like Australian. See bloody Britain. See what you've done with your stupid racism and vitriol toward her. She can't stand us, you effing morons. Alright, what a refreshing article. Facts full and snark free. Except for that fact free and gratuitous anytime we see a royal wearing that's a quote by the way, paragraph. It's called the Meghan effect, not the royal effect. Beautiful article with all the feels and no notes. There's that. And thanks for this info. I had not read or seen it in full now. Senior Lieutenant Duchess of Sussex is doing her job extremely well. Thank you so very much. Prince Harry upgraded the wives and royal family with Meghan, and William has been incandescent with rage and sense. He can't believe his brother was dating Suit Star, and instead of embracing his little brother for leveling up much better than he did, he has been trying to dim Meghan and Harry's light. That's the rolling eye. And also, let me read this and then move on. This is a great article, Bullseye. She has used her platform to showcase designers she loves and campaign she supports. Bullseye. It was a reputation she earned even before her royal nuptial to Prince Harry. Yeah, the squad have always highlight things like that about Meghan. Next tweet. Palace and King Charles USA. That's the side note that I put. Okay, the palace really rents the taxpayers for millions for fly across the pond just to prove they are not obsessed with Harry and Meghan. It is absolutely mental illness. You really did a whole circus tour with carefully selected spots just to play pretend because the charisma gap is literal canyon. Imagine being the actual king and still being depressed. You are not humiliating anyone. You are just showing the entire world that you cannot keep their names out of your mouth for 5 minutes. It is giving, I am totally over my ex, while you are literally outside the house in a bush. Harry and Meghan are living their best lives in the sun. It is not a win. It is a pathetic, expensive cry for help. Get a grip and stop spending our money on your family trauma. Absolute clowns. Yeah. Alright, so this is the headline. King Charles just showed up Harry and Meghan for their pathetic little charade. I mean, Harry and Meghan are minding their own business, doing their own thing. So why are you even mentioning Harry and Meghan on anything about Charles? The headline and the sentence expose the toxic British media's one-sided, obsessive, diabolical, parroting idiotic nonsense. Harry and Meghan were minding their business, doing their thing, and being the original and the master of their lives. The rest are always following and mimicking them, in my humble opinion. Right, oh dear, 62% of Americans don't care about the monarchy, including Harry and Meghan. I don't know in terms of percentage. Yes, there are some squaddies in the US who, who talk about Harry and Meghan and their thing, but there's no obsession there. No obsession at all. All right. Oh dear, 62% of Americans don't care about the monarchy. The planned tour for Charles and Trump, and it did nothing. Just propaganda for both of the toxic figures. Harry and Meghan's business trip create headlines like this. Alright, let's see here. Prince Harry and Meghan have been tourism gold for Australia, bringing millions of dollars into the NSW economy, and tourism experts said the visit has given Australia the kind of advertising money can't buy, via Fiona Wengett. I read that article from NSW because so many people were talking about it, so I had to know what they were saying. I think I have it on my other channel, PYTE. Go check it out. Duke and Duchess of Sussex visit has given Australia tourism advertising money can't buy. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been tourism gold for Australia, bringing millions of dollars into the NSW economy, over $3.1 million to Dubai alone, and tourism experts said the visit has given Australia the kind of advertising money can't buy. Alright, so that's that. Alright, whatever is here, bottom up. Let's pause this. It just showed us that the British royal family can do a whole tour and not once touch a black person. The most racist, expensive royal tour ever. I don't know how much it's gonna cost the US. You will think the British monarchists will question why the king didn't take his queen to Bermuda. Charles is very sick. Okay, but is it, well, Bermuda, is it a black country with in the Caribbean? So she doesn't want to do anything with this type of people, and this is why I believe she didn't go to Harlem as well. Well, she's showing herself. She's showing you who she is, so you better believe it. But he doesn't need the queen, who always seemed confused at his side. From the car to the entrance is her best move. Everything else is confusing. Let's leave that alone. Next tweet. All right, GBNews. Let's pause. Okay, the royal family and the royal rats are running scared because of the Diana tapestry, trying again to silence Diana's truth. I expect William Parker Bowles making a statement shortly. Oh my God, it's 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Let's see here.
Mary's just been in touch, saying, I think it's disgraceful dragging Diana up again. It's about viewing figures and therefore money. Absolutely disgraceful, says Mary. Some people have no morals. What do you think?
Well, I think that Mary is quite entitled to her opinion, and that's what she feels. I feel rather... Well, I sympathise with her, and I know what she means, but...
Once the person die, okay, she can no longer defend herself. So what else can they say about Princess Diana that these people haven't said already? What's brand new? I mean, Diana told her truth, and with Martin Bashir, and then the older brother claimed this, whatever, make it illegal to use her voice, to silence her voice.
I would like to thank Lord Dyson and his team for the report. It is welcome that the BBC accepts Lord Dyson's findings in full, which are extremely concerning. That BBC employees lied and used fake documents to obtain the interview with my mother, made lurid and false claims about the royal family, which played on her fears and fueled paranoia, displayed woeful incompetence when investigating complaints and concerns about the programme, and were evasive in their reporting to the media and covered up what they knew from their internal investigation. It is my view that the deceitful way the interview was obtained substantially influenced what my mother said. The interview was a major contribution to making my parents' relationship worse and has since hurt countless others. It brings indescribable sadness to know that the BBC's failures contributed significantly to her fear, paranoia, and isolation that I remember from those final years with her. But what saddens me most is that if the BBC had properly investigated the complaints and concerns first raised in 1995, my mother would have known that she had been deceived. She was failed not just by a rogue reporter, but by leaders at the BBC who looked the other way rather than asking the tough questions. It is my firm view that this Panorama programme holds no legitimacy and should never be aired again. It effectively established a false narrative which for over a quarter of a century has been commercialised by the BBC and others. This settled narrative now needs to be addressed by the BBC and anyone else who has written or intends to write about these events. In an era of fake news, public service broadcasting and a free press have never been more important. These failings, identified by investigative journalists, not only let my mother down and my family down.
So what else these people can say about her? She's dead. She can't defend herself anymore. Oh, Jesus Christ.
We're not going to crush the memory of Diana just because you may not think it's morally right. People talk about her all the time. People write about her, and people make films about her. In a way, I think it's quite nice for her family and her friends, and especially her sons, to know that people still love and care about her. As for the money-making side of it, sadly for Diana, people have all...
After the money-making side of it, like her, for instance, the royal rat, be making money off of, the royal family, including Princess Diana. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Always made money out of her. And that was one of her gripes, again, they're making money out of me. They never leave me alone. But she is just one of those iconic people. I don't think she will ever be left alone.
But she was upset at the time she made these tapes, and frankly, to a certain extent, she may not have known the real truth behind some of the breakdown details of her marriage. So is it fair, Di, that even if it comes out of her own mouth, is it fair to just keep publicising it?
No, I don't think it is, and I'm afraid to say I disagree with your other contributor. I really think time is enough now. It's nearly 30 years, and this programme is designed to go out in next year, the 30th anniversary of her tragic death. I totally agree what you just said. Did she really know what was going to happen with all these tapes? I think it is time that we let her rest in peace.
Okay. If it's things that she has said in the past, all right, recorded, put it out there, that's because she wants people to hear it. Things that she had put out there herself, so that's because she wants people to know the truth. These are things she put out there for people to know what she was going through. That was her voice. That was her truth. In my humble opinion, people could only reinforce some of the things that she had personally put out there herself. Things that she freely put out, her books, her audios, her this and that, her own voice. Yes. Let's continue.
People like Andrew Morton and others have made a huge amount of money out of publicising some of the tragic details of her life. She was a lovely, lovely lady, but she was troubled.
How did the rest of the royal family react when they learnt that the child that you were to have was going to be a boy?
Well, everybody was thrilled to bits. It has been quite a difficult pregnancy. I hadn't been very well throughout it. So by the time William arrived, there was great relief because it was all peaceful again, and I was well for a time. Then I was unwell with postnatal depression, which no one ever discusses postnatal depression. You have to read about it afterwards, and that in itself was a bit of a difficult time. You'd wake up in the morning feeling you didn't want to get out of bed, you felt misunderstood, and just very, very low in yourself.
Was this completely out of character for you?
Yes, very much so. I've never had a depression in my life. But then when I analysed it, I could see that the changes I'd made in the last year had all caught up with me, and my body had said, we want a rest.
What was the family's reaction to your postnatal depression?
Well, maybe I was the first person ever to be in this family who ever had a depression or was ever openly tearful. And obviously that was daunting, because if you've never seen it before, how do you support it?
What effect did the depression have on your marriage?
Well, it gave everybody a wonderful new label. It's Diana's unstable and Diana's mentally imbalanced. And unfortunately, that seems to have stuck on and off over the years.
She was a lovely, lovely lady, but she was troubled, and I think she was troubled at the time she was making this. So actually now to disclose this, I think, is totally unfair.
I mean, Ingrid, I know
I will agree with this guy if, only if it's brand new stuff that's coming out of nowhere that we never heard before, and then people are making it public. I'll say, I don't know, unless if it's her voice, unless if it is her voice and it's not manufactured stuff. I will agree with this guy, but if it's things that's already out there, I will disagree.
it's difficult for you at the moment because the program makers have asked you not to tell us what the detail of these unheard tapes are. But isn't that true, that at the time she was upset and she wasn't in full possession of the true facts as we know them now? In fact, she was deliberately misguided, I think, or misinformed in some ways. So is it fair to her memory, even though I know that you revere her memory, as so many people do, is it fair to hear her now?
Well, I don't think life is fair. I don't think it's very fair that they were ever broadcast in the first place. But Diana knew, because she was very canny, she knew that once she had made those tapes, that they were never going to go away. I mean, she probably didn't look that far into the future because she, as Di said, she was very troubled. But she made the tapes because she wanted her voice to be heard. And now, 30 years later, her voice is still being heard. I know, various things have happened that she might look upon it very differently. But of course, you would look upon something very differently with the benefit of hindsight. So I think I don't think there's any way of stopping this exploitation, if you like, of Diana, because it's always happened and it always will do. I mean, she was always so many covers of Majesty magazine. She was on the front. She was on the front of every newspaper. It's something that it's a roller coaster that I don't think you can ever stop. So I think the best thing is to, appreciate what is out there and what is coming out there and go with it.
Final thought, Di, from you, because of all the messages you've got coming in so far are saying, no, just let her rest in peace. And I wonder if is that a sense that, because partly what she's going to be talking about, we know, is Camila, who is now our queen, and attitudes towards her have changed. And I just wonder, is it damaging to the king and queen for all this to come out now?
Well, you just raised what I was thinking as you actually said it. So, no, I totally agree with you. And in fairness, he is our king now. He hasn't got a right of reply. Camilla hasn't got a right of reply. So I think this is totally unfair if we're going to be fair about anyone and everybody. There are always two two sides to a story, and I think we have to respect not only the King and our Queen, but also Prince William and his family. I really think this is appalling, and the more I'm listening to everyone, I think it's even more appalling, and I'm dead against it. And if I could do anything to stop it, I would.
If it's a okay, so why all of a sudden? That's one thing. If it's a tape, that means she wanted for it to be out there. So they're trying to suppress that particular tape for people from here listening to it. So if she recorded it, that means she wanted it to be heard, to be made public. But who helped? I don't know. I don't know what that tape is all about. All right, let's read this. Diana left those tapes because she wanted her story told. So let us hear it. All right, they killed me, calling her trouble. Her troubles was the two of three in her marriage. When she made those recordings, she also made it clear she was in her right mind and wanted her story to be told, and the royal family was trying to silence her. If this is true. Okay, yeah, I mean, the palace always want things to be secret while they themselves are doing this nonsense. All right, let me leave it alone. I'm not sure what tape they're talking about. Next week, let's pause this. All right. The inherent cruelty of the monarchy. Quote, they, Prince Harry and Meghan, are enormously appealing to the public and are very good at it. What a pity it is they've gone. I think they, the royal family, needed Harry and Meghan. I mean, whose fault is that? Harry and Meghan wanted to stay. It's the royal family who wanted them out. Alright, said the Sandringham Summit. Go listen or read the part of that section in Harry's book, Spare. He spoke about it. And the squad usually make fun of the printer. Thank God the printer wasn't working. That's from the book. Because Harry wanted to change the decision that the palace made for him. Alright, all out. And then when Harry asked them to change it for 50-50, they claimed the printer wasn't working. All right, let's continue. The same reporters that recognized that Harry and Meghan were the jewel in the crown for the royal family are the same ones that cyberbullied them daily for shit, giggles, and clicks, making it seem like they were god-awful while having this green light by the family to do this. A family that also recognized Harry and Meghan were doing good things for the monarchy, but targeted them out of jealousy. I mean, this is pure evil, these people are. They really don't want the people to be in a state of comfort, of enjoying life. They have to put people in misery in order for them to be in the position that they are. There is something fundamental cruel about the monarchy that expects peers and royal wives to suffer, but its arrogance is that they don't expect their victims to be able to escape, and when they try, just like King Charles did, they blackmail them with more cruelty, taking away security, evicting them from secure homes gifted to them, ramping up the media abuse from their reporters. The monarchy is a hierarchical system built not on service but ego, cruelty, and pain. Thanks for the video. It's 46 seconds. Let's listen.
Enormously appealing to the public and who are very good at it. We're out there in Nigeria sort of looking really attractive and being, appealing people. And what a pity it is, they've gone. There is a kind of Harry-shaped hole in the monarchy at this time when they're in such sort of beleaguered circumstances.
Do you think the rift is permanent?
It might be, because things tend to get more and more ossified, like they did with the Windsors. But I think we needed Harry and Meghan. And I think, unfortunately, what's come to pass with the cancer diagnosis and things shows just how depleted the family is and how much it needs all its stalwarts. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I hope it does, mend. Enormously appealing.
I was reading this comment. It makes sense. I agree with it 100%. All right, the thing is, there was never a worry about Harry ever becoming king unless a catastrophic event occurred where William and Kate, Kate, right? Entire family was wiped out. Nobody wants. Their line was secure regardless of what attractive, appealing, dynamic Harry and Meghan brought to the family. What a pity ended. Yeah, their line was secure, and they had to be succession after Harry. after William. 3 kids. All right, because the queen changed the rule for female to, that can be that can take the throne. Okay. So that's their short-sighted thing. They were secure. The only thing that could have happened if Harry and Meghan were there is to benefit from them. And it had started for the few seconds they were over there, and then the jealousy came and they had to leave. Clarify the succession is that if the firstborn is a female, she is entitled to the throne. I think that was made or modified because of William firstborn. They didn't know what they were gonna have, but just in case if it was a female, so the throne will be for her. Okay, so that had changed. So I don't know. People could explain that more. I don't want to go too much into detail with it. True, a simple case of if you abuse it, you lose it. Harry and Meghan decided to look after themselves and remove themselves from a toxic situation. Well, William kicked them out. This we need to make it clear. It's William who kicked them out. Harry and Meghan wanted to stay. Royals never learn. As William's children get nearer to their teens, it won't be long before they're the next target. Next tweet. May God bless them and may them see the light and of common sense. Don't follow the father's footsteps. Depending on how the situation, the political aspect and the country is, if the monarchy remain the same, okay? The same, well, I don't mean the same, but in terms of they never abolish it, they don't follow the same mindset, the same pity, angry, and savagery and jealousy type of mindset. Work along with your siblings, all right, and work with the people. Okay, asked whether he thinks William and Kate will take up Trump's invitation to visit the U.S. in July. Sykes said that depends entirely on how well England does in the FIFA World Cup. What the hell? If England don't do well, then William will be on holidays, quote, as he usually does for weeks on end. Yeah, you heard right. The British masses are paying £24 million a year for an heir whose life revolves around football, video games, sleeping all day, and holidaying for weeks on end. It's clear that everyone thinks he's a joke. He has to separate his position, the business, all right, the business aspect of the monarchy or the role. Okay, maybe this is better. The role of the monarchy and comparison, differentiated with your fanatic of football. That's completely 2 different things. Oh my God, he keep everything in one. All right, 27 seconds.
And number 2, the Trumps have invited Catherine and William over for the 4th of July. Do you think they will come?
Well, the second question is easier to answer than the first, because the second question depends entirely on how well England do in the World Cup. So if England do very well in the World Cup, William will be here like a shot. If they don't do so well, he may find himself mysteriously on holiday in Norfolk, as he usually does for weeks on end.
And number 2...
Oh, God, that's embarrassing. All right, damn. LOL. This might truly be a conundrum for the Macbeth. On one hand, they are lazy and will want to travel for anything remotely resembling work, but on the other hand, it will be high profile, and their ilk will almost certainly try to spend it into jab against Harry and Meghan. Their laziness always went over everything. He ain't going. He hates working. Come on. Unless England does well, then he'll use a visit as a cover. 100%, anything but work. All right, William did not go to the Women's World Cup final when England got there down under, citing being on holiday with his family. He is the president of Football Association. A disgraceful decision if he walks up to the men's final will be duplicitous. Nobody questions usually why William and Kate never do overseas tours anymore. Do they not feel shown up by elderly men who has had cancer doing more work than the pair of them put together? Chris Ship, will he excessively play video games? Tom Sykes, he's on holiday for weeks on end. Do tell us, what is a working royal again? Camila and the she-man who calls herself a lady on TV crying about Meghan's entrepreneurial venture. Okay. It's talking point of different worldwide who made reference of some of William's behavior. Next to it. Okay. That's the same video. I'm not gonna play it again. I'm focusing on the caption and some of the responses. What those monarchists who are extremely worried over Prince William's becoming king by pretending it's because he's not ready won't tell you is that they will welcome a Prince Harry reign right now without hesitation. It isn't really about not being ready. All right. Let's see here. Small little thing. Okay, whatever's here. Of course, he's not ready, and he'll never be ready as he just hasn't got the skills or the drive to lead. He's a follower and not a leader. Despite his narcissism, I think he knows that he can do the job, especially with KKK at his side. He knows how unpopular he is and that he won't get the support needed to bring the monarchy back from the brink of death, as that's where it is now. I think Charles is probably in his way out, and William is shitting himself his way out. You will think of retirement, but she pretty much meant death. Okay, that's, or maybe if he decided to what do you call this when you give up the throne, but he waited too long to give it up. All right, they are saying that Charles is doing better and he does look good and those Bermuda videos. He didn't in New York and Washington. Okay, isn't it suspect that as soon as Godzilla leaves, he's looking more relaxed and better, lol. Because it reminds people of Princess Diana. What she did to Princess Diana, even though Charles was shitty too. Alright, that's the life here. I have never seen bigger clowns than the British media hacks. There aren't bigger clowns anywhere else in the world. Well, they transferred them into the US. But thank God some of the journalists in the US, they do not want to carry out the BS that the UK is putting out. It's new. Well, they're leaving it up to young influencers to do the clowning for them. Next to it. But well-educated journalists, they don't want, majority of them don't want to do the nonsense that the royal rats are doing. Right, next to it. Breaking, King Charles III in New York City. Roads remain closed near Harlem Ground while King Charles III visited the non-profit. This royal New York City visit is part of the British monarchy's 4-day visit to the US to commemorate 250 years of American independence. I've said in one of the videos I did recently, I would like to know, the connection or how the history book will read when Charles is in the U.S. That's when the Supreme Court decided to did its thing regarding the Voting Rights Act. All right, but this is 34 seconds. Let's see.
All this is because of King Charles that's out here in the community, and the Secret Service out here, planting a tree out here. King Charles from London, in the UK, is planting a tree out here. So this is all the commotion. They got the sanitation blocking the street. Nobody comes in here trying to pose a threat. Got the Secret Service. This is all because of that. All this is because of King.
So that will be a screenshot in that video. Let's see here. King Charles III visit Harlem Grown. Okay, so there's that. A 4 days of darkness for the Democrats. I am a king that loves black people. Please, he doesn't. Look at his daughter-in-law, please. Next tweet. Agreeing with Amanda Platell certainly was not on my 2026 bingo card, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. Her assessment of the White House trip is a savage and necessary takedown of a performance that was as hollow as it was staged. No amount of desperate PR choreography from the monarchy or the White House can manufacture the soul and effortless dignity that Princess Diana carried in her DNA. While the handlers try to spin this visit as a success for Trump and the royals, the reality is a stiff and charmless imitation of true royalty, it is a pathetic attempt to mask a total lack of natural grace with expensive fabrics and scripted smiles. Amanda is right to be brutal because the public can see exactly what is missing, the heart and the light of the woman who should have been there. That's the headline here. Amanda Platell, judge me all you want, but I had a terrible realization when I saw Camila at the White House. Everything is all now so painfully clear to me. Maybe that's why she left. She didn't go to Bermuda with Charles. The difference. She would have been what, in her 60s now if she was alive? Oh my God, you fought for that position and this is how you... Baggage for God, that's all. Yeah, Princess Diana made it look flawless. Alright, like Platell and all the other witches are the main contributors to why that family can never have too much sparkle. Alright, let's see here. I've always believed Charles' marriage to Diana was sabotaged from the start by Camila. We are expected to call her queen. I refuse to do so. Camila will never be a queen to me, only a marriage wrecker. You know what I like about this? They took that specific part, which is true. There's that. So those racist British gossipers can say whatever they want, insulting people in the process. But Harry, the Bond Prince, can even talk about his feelings while he's the one who lived that life and suffered from losing his mom. Platell is the first one and screaming, how dare Harry speak of his father's mistress turned wife. 100%. This evil crank is mad at the charmless, unattractive royals they have, but angry at the charismatic one they push out, who dare to live their life unafraid. They treated Diana poorly. They think her qualities and that of the Sussexes was theft, so attack them. They see things upside down. What's good is bad to them. What's bad is good. Look how they doing with the Epstein thing. Unbelievable. Next tweet. So many psycho friends have gone rogue and are now calling out Lazy Willie and Lazy Kate after the overseas visit by Prince Harry, Meghan, and King Charles. Quote, but the apparent success of the U.S. trip, coupled with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex high-profile quasi-royal visit to Australia last month, and Harry's speech in Ukraine in which he challenged the U.S. to uphold its historic security guarantees, has also highlighted the shortage of other royals with sufficient clout of star power to go on this mission. Full article. I'm not going to read that article. So this is the headline here. All right, Charles Trump. Now the pressure is on William to step up. The king visits 16 countries a year when he was William's age, but his heir managed only 5 in 2025. Kate's illness played a part, but please. But the pressure to step up now is growing. They just use Kate's sickness as an excuse, and her sickness is even questionable. Okay, I'm not gonna read this. I've already put these on my community board. Okay, go check it out. I say I was gonna read it, but we have things to do. I can't I can't read all of this here. I thought I was gonna, maybe I'll read it on my own, but for the video's sake I can't. All right, this is it. You could pause each one and read, and I'm already 38 minutes now. Okay, and it's on my community board. Alright, why are the royalists so proud of appeasing Trump? No masterclass of diplomacy was necessary. Trump is like a crazed magpie. He is dazzled by royalty and by anything that glitters. King Charles didn't have to do a thing except show up, and the demented ADHD toddler in the White House was sold. And now I see a worried toxic British media panicking. It's funny to me. I don't feel sorry for them. They helped create the monster that Kensington Royal Prince William has become. They were complicit and they infantilized Willie for years. They went full throttle once they had Meghan to abuse. I don't know. Something definitely shifted with Harry and Meghan's trip to Australia. Some of the British royal family, most die-hard fans, can even make up excuses for them anymore. The way Harry and Meghan's trip went, they do not want that. Okay, it's a big no-no to them. Let's go to the next two. Look what happened to Princess Diana. She was minding her own business, doing charitable work. Nope. All right. So we just need to keep on praying for Harry and Meghan. Next tweet. Another very weird British royal family secret unraveling. All right, let's listen to this.
If it turns out that Princess Anne's husband actually has 2 kids that we never knew about, and Buckingham Palace accidentally released the news, if it actually turns out to be true and not some AI weird put together list that they didn't proofread or something, and I know exactly why Buckingham Palace would do this if they did it intentionally, and it's because of this headline. It's because the Telegraph dared to say that Princess Anne would be a better queen than her brother Charles is as king. If it turns out that this man had children and Buckingham Palace released the news,
it's playing
and
over.
I'm not saying that is what happened, but if it turns out that way, it is because of this article that it happened. Charles would be so angry about this article that he sabotaged.
They probably want excuses, all right? They want somebody to blame for whatever it is that to cover for them. They just want someone to shift blame while they're doing something. Okay, they want this to be the headline. I don't know anything about that, so let's leave that alone. Let me pause. If I don't know, because they probably need to shift, like a squirrel type of thing for distraction. This is my last one here. When you hear monarchists admit that William is lazy and unfit for the throne, it becomes clear that their constant attack on Harry and Meghan are a distraction to deflect from the fact that the heir is a raging sociopath and they know it. So something like this, they want distraction, the way they use Harry and Meghan to distract from whatever William does. All right, while William is doing absolutely nothing and he's receiving millions, okay, for the amount of money he's receiving and doing nothing. All right, so they want to distract you from that, similar to the previous one. So they create this headline for whatever maybe there's something bigger that's coming up, so they want a distraction. So they started brewing the distraction for you. So this might be a start for something else that we're gonna hear soon. Let me read some of the comment and then move on. Actually, this is the last tweet for this video. It's while how Tom Sykes used to jizz himself at the thought of William being king and all but name, and further jizz himself at the thought of William finally stripping Harry and Meghan of their titles because something charity work. And here he is emphatically stating that Charles needs to essentially live a very long life to give William more time to be an intern, laughing my ass off because he isn't ready to be CEO. There's a laugh. Like you will never hear anyone say that about Harry. And I think that speaks to the greater issue. They won't mind if William became king now, if Harry was still around, because they look to Harry as the pseudo heir. But with Harry gone and absolutely killing it on the world stage without the palace machinery behind him, it further illustrates how they put all their eggs in the wrong basket and how William is grossly unprepared. And the thing is that even though he's unprepared, he doesn't give a shit about it because he knows these people is like there's a safety net for him. He doesn't do anything, the safety net is always there. The issue is William is 44 years old and had decades to learn from the best, Elizabeth and Charles. It's clear Harry learned from them, but William didn't. And the kind of world experience Harry has, and he listened to people. And also listen in terms of, that doesn't mean he does what people said or everything that people tell him, but he listen, he analyze, he think. And also because they are ashamed that the heir they have been support is being outed as a good for nothing layabout. Exactly. He's insane. God, he looks like a So that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, so that's it. I think I'm going to do another one. We're gonna start with this tweet. And then after this video, I will be, this could have been here, but and after that, I'm gonna do videos regarding some politics, some stuff that I saw, and I thought I'd share them with you. All right, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.